WCBI News at 6 starts now.
The Columbus Police Department is investigating a body found right here in the Friendly City. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Victoria Bailey. The male victim was found on the corner of 11th Street and 11th Avenue South. He did suffer from a gunshot wound, and law enforcement don't believe it was a random act, and they are treating it like it's a homicide. Now, the cause of death has not been determined. CPD is waiting for the autopsy. The victim has not been identified.
We're going to treat this as a homicide. We're going to continue to investigate this and develop leads. There are some people that we need to talk to, and we're going to talk to them, and we're developing suspects at this time. It was not random. We're believing right here, it was shown earlier in the investigation, that the victim and the suspect probably knew each other.
Now, Chief Shelton says if anyone has any information, you are encouraged to contact Crime Stoppers. Well, 3 people are taken to the hospital after a late evening crash. 2 cars collided near the intersection of Military Road and Highway 12 in Lowndes County. It happened just before 7 Friday evening. Lowndes County deputies and Mississippi Highway Patrol troopers were on the scene. A portion of the roadway was shut down so crews could work the scene. 3 people were taken to the hospital with what appeared to be non-life-threatening injuries. Well, President Trump called for the FBI to launch an investigation into his Supreme Court nominee, Brett Kavanaugh. The investigation into sexual assault allegations against Kavanaugh came at the request of Arizona Republican Senator Jeff Flake, a key vote in the confirmation. Now, the panel passed Kavanaugh's nomination out of the committee Friday, but agreed to Flake's request to deny a final vote on the nomination to allow time for the investigation.
This is a concerning moment for the White House. Asking the FBI to investigate is a reversal for President Trump, who had repeatedly said Judge Brett Kavanaugh had already been sufficiently vetted. In a statement, the president saying this investigation will be limited in scope and last only 1 week. But it was Friday's dramatic events surrounding the committee confirmation vote that changed the administration's plans. Retiring Arizona Senator Jeff Flake was seen trapped by impassioned protesters, furious at his announcement that morning to approve Kavanaugh's vote out of the Judiciary Committee. One saying she wanted to force Flake to examine the impact of his decision, which she says sends a message that the opinions of sexually assaulted women does not matter. Later, Flake then spoke to Democratic Senator Chris Coons privately before announcing his compromise. The Flake will approve Kavanaugh out of committee, but unless the FBI investigates claims heard the day before, he would ultimately vote down his nomination in the full Senate. On Thursday, Dr. Christine Blasey Ford testified in detail about her alleged sexual assault by Kavanaugh when the 2 were teenagers. President Trump said she was, quote, a very credible witness. Now, the White House will set parameters for this investigation, including whether FBI agents will interview 2 other women also accusing Judge Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct. It's also unclear if agents will speak to Mark Judge, an alleged witness to the Ford assault. A lawyer for Judge says he will cooperate with the FBI. Errol Barnett, CBS News, the White House.
Well, former Congressman Mike Espy stopped by the Trotter Convention Center in downtown Columbus today for a campaign rally. WCBI's Cash Matlock was there and has more.
Well, that's right, Victoria. Mike Espy is running for the U.S. Senate. Folks from all over Lowndes, Clay, and Oktibbeha counties gathered today to hear what he had to say. And during the rally, he spoke on a number of topics, including health care, housing, farmers' needs, and the job market. Columbus is just one of several stops for Espy. He says he'll be making many more appearances across the state in the next 40 days leading up to the election to speak with voters. Espy says it's important for everyone to get out and vote during this upcoming election.
And I want to be a voice of calm, a voice of reason, a voice of experience, someone who will reach across the chasm, because I don't care what party you're from, I don't care your gender or your race, I just want to help everybody to live a...
Now, Espy made history as our nation's first African-American congressman since Reconstruction. And he also served as President Bill Clinton's Secretary of Agriculture. Victoria?
Thanks a lot, Cash. Well, it's time now for a first look at our forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley. Hey, Jacob.
Hey Victoria, it is another fall-like day out there across the area. We're currently sitting in the middle to upper 70s out there. We have cooled down a little bit from the lower 80s that we saw earlier this afternoon, but regardless, it is still very comfortable out there. And those dew points are only sitting in the lower 60s to upper 50s across the area, and those will only continue to go down and stay around that as we go into tomorrow as well. So those comfortable conditions are going to last at least for the next 2 days. And on radar right now, we are dry out there, just a little bit of ground clutter out there, and no rainfall to talk about at all in our area. It is fall is in the air for sure, and tonight we will drop down into the lower 60s once again, keeping us pretty comfortable. I'll have your full forecast coming up later in the show. Victoria.
Thanks a lot, Jacob. Well, they are essential pieces of equipment for law enforcement, and that's bulletproof vests and body armor. Today, 350 runners descended onto Fair Park to help raise money in the 4th annual Blessed Are the Peacemakers 5K run. Now, all the proceeds go for the purchase of the vests and armor for officers in departments that don't have them in the budget. Kim Rushing is the founder of Wives of Warriors, who sponsored today's event.
Of course, they will save an officer's life, and that's all we want at the end of the day is for all the officers to come home safely. We still have about 100 needs, and of course that grows every year because we have people that vests expire, and to date we've bought 89. We hope to break the 100 mark this time.
Now, Rushing says these vests only have a lifespan of 5 years, and then they must be replaced. They cost between $600 and $1,000. Well, when we come back, we have a sharp show for you. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everyone. Well, New Albany honored some very special people today. WCBI's Chad Groening was there and has the story.
This monument stands in front of the New Albany Welcome Center to honor the National Guard members from New Albany and Union County who took part in the 2005 deployment in Operation Iraqi Freedom. And during this weekend's festivities at the Tallahatchie River Festival, more than a dozen of the men were recognized for their service and presented a certificate and special knives from the W.R. Case & Sons Cutlery Company.
So we're doing that today to honor them, to let them know that we still support them, even though many of them have already retired, like myself. But and one of those veterans has also been deployed again into Kuwait. So these are men and women that believe in protecting the freedoms of America.
And there were plenty of other things going on at this year's event, including the knife show that corresponded with the honoring of the veterans. There was a hoop fest right in the middle of the street, and there was music. The Tallahatchie River Festival has become the premier event on the New Albany calendar on the last weekend in September.
This really started out as the celebration of Faulkner's birthday, and then it morphed into the Tallahatchie River Fest. So it's just the one-year event that our citizens in the outside of New Albany can come and have an eventful day.
And there was a good crowd gathered at midday along the walking bridge over the river to witness what has become a popular part of the whole Riverfest experience, the 5th annual Duck Regatta, sponsored by the New Albany Rotary Club. More than 1,300 rubber ducks were dropped into the water off the bridge upriver and slowly worked their way to the walking bridge where they were retrieved.
The Rotary Club was looking for a fundraiser idea 5 years ago, and we came up with the idea to do a duck regatta. We sell tickets for $10 a duck. This year we've sold 1,332 ducks were in the race this year. The first 3 places win cash prizes. Then there are 4 plucked ducks that we pick out randomly that are $50 prizes. But it's a fundraiser for the New Albany Rotary Club, and we're partnered with the Union County Museum, Heritage Museum.
The Rotary Club wanted to make sure they had all their ducks in a row. Chad Groening, WCBI News, New Albany.
Well, a new feature for an annual festival is sure to be a draw for knife collectors. The 2018 Knife Celebration takes place at the Magnolia Civic Center in downtown New Albany during the Tallahatchie River Fest. Now, it is the first time Case brought a large show to New Albany. The president of North Mississippi Knife Collectors say the knife show features hundreds of collectibles.
The reason I like collecting, and I'm going to say Case knives, is because of the history of Case. It dates way back to the late 1800s, and that history has been documented for years. And so we love the history, but we love the knives as well.
Now, Lowry says there will be a special presentation Saturday afternoon for veterans that takes place across the street from the Union County Courthouse.
Well, another fall-like day is in store for your Sunday. I'll let you know when temperatures could warm up and we could see a little bit more rain coming up after the break.
First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Jacob Riley.
Well, good Saturday evening. Fall is in the air and it's here to stay for a couple of more days. As we head into next week, though, we'll have a high pressure system begin to work its way back towards our area, which will increase those temperatures back up, feeling a little bit more like summertime for us here across northeastern Mississippi and western Alabama. But right now out there, those clouds have begun to work their way back into our area. We are sitting pretty comfortable, the 70s across the board for the area, 78 here in Columbus. And earlier today, it was a little bit clearer until those clouds began to move in from the southwest, covering our area, keeping us a little bit cooler today as well. And that cooler weather has been much sought after here across northeastern Mississippi due to the warmer summer we had. So these cooler temperatures are very a lot more comfortable than what we've been used to. But there's those clouds moving in from this disturbance. Pushing in some moisture across southern Louisiana, and that will help to bring our rain chances up as we go in through the rest of the week. But right now out there, we're pretty dry. Just have this area of ground clutter here across the area. This isn't rain, it's just the bend of the radar beam that's kind of reflecting off of itself, and it's showing a couple of those green colors there on the map. But for tonight, we will remain clear. I do expect more clouds to be around tonight than what Futurecast is showing, and we could have a few areas of patchy fog to start things off for your Sunday morning, so just kind of factor that into your morning commute for your Sunday. But we will remain dry through Sunday evening on into the afternoon hours as well. Those clouds will stick around, leaving us with partly cloudy conditions for your Sunday on into your Sunday night as well. So just take today and transition that over into Sunday, and just a little bit warmer though, and that's what you can expect weather-wise. We will top out around 86 there in Amory, 85 Pontotoc, 85 in Iuka as well. So just a tad bit warmer again tomorrow than what we were today. 87 degrees Carthage, 87 as well in Louisville. Eupora, you will top out around 85 degrees on Sunday. We are going to keep those rain chances at 0% tomorrow, not expecting much. Those winds out of the northeast around 3 to 7 miles an hour will keep you folks there in Fayette at 86 degrees for your Sunday. So it is a lot more seasonal now than what we have been over the past couple of days. But here's taking a look at our 500 millibar heights. Just kind of shows the temperature trend over the next couple of days. We will have this high pressure system, like I was talking about, build back into our area as we go on in through the week, which will keep us a little bit warmer as we go on into your Sunday or your Wednesday and Thursday. Those high temperatures going back into the upper 80s.
Sports with Courtney Robb.
Here's live footage from the Mississippi State Dog Walk as the Bulldogs are getting ready to head in and have their SEC home opener against the Florida Gators. Some crazy live video, fans getting super excited and ringing those cowbells, of course. It's very loud. Personally speaking, I was there live and it was my first time here, Courtney Robb, at Davis Wade Stadium for probably the biggest game that the Bulldogs have had yet so far this season, their biggest home game, not to mention. But things are just getting underway here. The energy in the tailgates alone has been absolutely crazy. Fans just going nuts and welcoming back Dan Mullen, you could say. Fans very interested to see how the Gators are going to come out here today with Dan Mullen's first official return to Starkville since leaving that head coaching position a couple months ago. Joe Moorhead also, his first time playing the Bulldogs against the Gators. How is he going to do after that loss against Kentucky is another question that fans have been asking this past week after that tough loss on the road. But besides that, both of these coaches looking pretty similar. They're both 3-1, both having that loss against Kentucky. So both have a lot to gain out of getting this win today, and a lot maybe riding a little bit more on the Bulldogs, but we'll have to see how it's going to turn out later. But our Blair Schaefer did catch up with a former Bulldog to talk a little bit about her return to Davis Wade, as well as the upcoming matchup today. We'll take it to Blair.
Hey everyone, we're here at the Mississippi State versus Florida game, and look who I just ran into. The phenom Victoria Vivians. You were the homecoming queen here. You've been in the WNBA for the past year. What has it been like?
It's amazing just being at state and being with all my teammates in the family environment. So the overall experience here was phenomenal.
So you're back here right now. What is it like seeing all the fans here? The same fans that supported you for 4 years.
It's amazing. I have a couple people coming up to me asking for pictures still, and I guess I'm still famous or whatever around here, but just knowing that I'm still remembered is pretty cool.
All right, so this was your first year in the WNBA. You did amazing things. You came into the program, didn't start, worked your way up to a starting position, and then you were a part of this rookie duo that had the most three-pointers made. What is that like in your first year?
I learned from you, Blair, but just going in and just being confident because I came from a great program. You know, I had to work my way to the top in state so we can do it at Indiana. So it was a struggle at first, but it got better.
What was your favorite thing and maybe your most challenging thing that you had to overcome in the WNBA this year?
I would say just playing against the vets. You know, they all know what you're going to do. And like in college, you go do whatever you want, but in the WNBA, you got to know what to do after the first, second, and third option. So I just feel like just going against them and trying to find something different to do besides shoot.
And let's go back to your career here for a second. So you came to Mississippi State, you made the all-freshman team, then you make the all-SEC team, first team all-SEC your senior year. What was your biggest improvement throughout your 4 years here?
I say my percentage overall, just my shooting decisions and just coming in the game my senior year and making confident decisions, smart decisions, and getting my teammates involved. That's the biggest improvement, is making myself a better person.
And let's not forget, you were a 4-player your senior year. You went from a 2-player to the 4. All of your percentages improved. You shot like 40-something% from the 3. You were 80% from the free throw line. On the floor was amazing. How did you get to that point? Did you ever think that being a 4-player would elevate your game that much more?
No, I didn't, but hey, it got me in the league, and I was pretty good at the 4, making great decisions, again, get teammates involved, and it made me look good as well as the team, so they helped me improve everybody and myself.
Well, that's great. So glad that we were able to meet with you today. Thanks for being with us, Victoria.
Thank you, Blair. A great interview from Blair. The game is just getting underway here at Davis Wade, but we'll also have more coming up later. Alabama taking that win against University of Louisiana Lafayette 56-14 earlier today, and Ole Miss hitting the road to take on LSU today. That game's at 8:15. We'll have plenty more for you coming up later on WCBI at 10, so make sure you tune in. But that's going to be it for sports. We'll have your last look after the break.
That's our time. Thank you guys. See you next time.